The Volkssturm, translated as the People's Storm, emerged as a desperate measure during the waning days of Nazi Germany in World War II. This improvised civilian militia embodied the last gasp of Hitler's regime, mobilizing men, young and old, to defend the collapsing German front lines against the overwhelming Allied forces. Created on Hitler's orders in October 1944, the Volkssturm to rally the German populace for a final stand against the advancing Allied armies. Firstly, the formation of the Volkssturm underscored the dire situation facing Germany in the latter stages of World War II, with the Wehrmacht's manpower reserves depleted and Allied forces advancing relentlessly on multiple fronts. Hitler sought to rally every able-bodied German to the defense of the fatherland. The Volkssturm, comprising men aged 16 to 60, represented a radical departure from conventional military structures, drawing upon a vast pool of previously untapped manpower resources. Secondly, the composition and equipment of the Volkssturm reflected the desperate circumstances of its formation. Uniforms varied widely, often consisting of a motley assortment of civilian clothing supplemented with armbands bearing the Volkssturm insignia. Firearms were in short supply, with many Volkssturm units armed with obsolete or captured weapons. Despite these deficiencies, the Volkssturm was imbued with a sense of fanaticism and loyalty to the Nazi cause, fueled by propaganda and promises of a final, glorious victory. Furthermore, the role of the Volkssturm in the defense of Germany's cities and towns during the final months of the war was marked by fierce resistance and heavy casualties. In cities such as Berlin, Hamburg, and Dresden, Volkssturm units fought tenaciously against overwhelming odds, often resorting to desperate measures such as street fighting and guerrilla tactics. The brutal house-to-house combat that characterized the Battle of Berlin, in which Volkssturm units played a significant role, resulted in the near-total destruction of the city and heavy losses on both sides. Additionally, the Volkssturm's mobilization also highlighted the moral and ethical dilemmas faced by ordinary Germans caught up in the maelstrom of total war. Many Volkssturm recruits were civilians, with little or no military training, thrust into the chaos of battle against seasoned Allied troops. The brutal suppression of the Warsaw Uprising and other acts of Nazi brutality had already sowed seeds of doubt and disillusionment among the German populace, further eroding support for the regime. In conclusion, the Volkssturm stands as a stark reminder of the desperation and folly of totalitarian regimes. In the face of inevitable defeat, conceived in a climate of delusion and desperation, the Volkssturm embodied the ultimate sacrifice demanded of ordinary Germans by a regime consumed by fanaticism and hubris, while its formation and deployment represented a final, desperate attempt to stave off defeat. The Volkssturm ultimately proved powerless to halt the inexorable advance of Allied forces and the collapse of the Third Reich. Its legacy is one of sacrifice, suffering, and the tragic futility of war. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe